Welcome to Wealth Is Gangsta. This is another episode. I got the powerful brother, Abdul Chappell. Now, am I saying the name? I don't want to gut your name. Am I saying it right?
Abdul Chappell, yes, sir. You said it right, bro.
I appreciate you coming through. Uh, I could break down what I didn't, did my research on, but I'd rather you just tell the audience a little bit about you and your story, and then we'll get into the actual conversation I want to have with you.
So I think probably the most important parts of the story is that, when I was 14, like most black men, influenced by rap music. At the time when I was 14, NWA was real new on the scene. Uh, Stole my mom's car, drove to California because I knew I was going to be a part of NWA's rap group. I didn't necessarily get to meet Easy, got locked up in Los Angeles juvenile. The short version is my cousin's boyfriend was neighborhood rolling 60. And so he took me out in the neighborhood, showed me some things. Moms had recommended that I didn't come right back home because it was a brand new car that I took.
Wanted you to stay away for a little bit to let it cool down.
A little heated, and so I ended up staying with my aunt for about a month out there. And I didn't see Crip gangbanging. I saw more of a Crip brotherhood. I saw older dudes looking out for youngsters. It was just kind of more that brotherhood type from as much as wisdom as a 14-year-old could have at the time, right? So nobody put me down with anything. It was just Cripping. I decided I like what I saw. I came back home and started the first Texas-based Crip set on the west side of Fort Worth, which is Las Vegas Trail, West Side Crips at the time. And so from that time, I did a gang truce. When the city became Fort Murder Worth, I knew all the day one dudes from from Fort Worth, from Stop Six, Highland Hills, Eastwood, South Side, Eastwood. And so I know everybody who jumped off the porch first back then. I also knew all the so-called, I don't want to say so-called, the individuals who came from LA at the time. I knew those dudes, what I'm saying? Whether it was Charlie Chan, whether it was EMAC, LA Run, Crip G, Chucky, Nolan, all those cats. So it was a different era, man. And I also was instrumental in being able to establish a gang truce in 1994. And I just leave it at that. It's just been, I believe after the gang truce, I started to notice that I was having more problems with the government and the police when I began trying to bring gangs together.
Oh, yeah, that's what they want you to just do all their records. When you try to clean it up, then that's when they try to hide you for real.
Yeah. So that's the skinny version of who I am. But since I've been home after doing it 20 years, I've also established Build a Better Hood program, which is a nonprofit 501c3 that's we opened up 3 small community centers on the west side. We've worked all over, all over Fort Worth, trying to bring construction, welding, electronics, electrical classes, CNA classes, anything. I gravitate more toward Booker T. Washington's concept of learning some things with your hands. Don't get me wrong, the intellectual concept or the talent intent was good. But as you see, you can have a bachelor's degree and be at McDonald's right now. What I'm saying?
Man, I was just talking about this the other day, like trades, like my CEO Youth League. I mean, I don't tell people not to go to college or this and that, but we push trade school, we push trade, we push gardening, we push living off the land, we push the actual facts of living. Because like I tell them, I said, back in the days, there was old men that couldn't read, but they could provide for their family because they knew how to do stuff with their hands. You know what I'm saying? And now we got some of the smartest people and still can't get a job because don't nobody hire you, no matter how smart you are, if you don't know how to create your own business. So I really salute that, because that's what we need to get to, the trade. You must, you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, I seen the mark. I said you had to hit a button or something. No, I was just saying that I salute what you was doing, what you're talking about on the trades and having skills with your hands, because it don't matter if you got a degree, if don't nobody hire you, you're worthless. But if you know some trades, you know how to do stuff with your hand, you know how to build and stuff you was talking about, you always have a job.
You know what I don't think a lot of people understand is that when our people were selected to be brought over here, they brought master skillsmen, masons. They brought individuals that they selected from different tribes and different parts of Africa because of those particular skills.
Yeah.
of gardening and building and architect work. You know what I'm saying? Because we design what has become the greatest nation on the planet. You know what I'm saying? We haven't benefited from it yet, but
Yeah,
that's coming too.
that's coming
You know?
too. We working on it. You understand? We working on it. Okay, I want to talk about, because this is the part I want to get into your books. Before we talk about your actual books, what was the inspiration for you just want to start books? Was it just you locked up? What was the conversation that you had, or just want to put your story out? What inspired you to write your first book, and then we'll talk about your individual books together.
So, I mean, of course, I was trying to figure out a way how to convey coming from the streets, right? Um, the thoughts. I was trying to reach brothers like myself, right? Cats who I know was caught in between, who really wanted to do something good but didn't see no way out, right? Because back then we had the concept the hood and took us under. This is how we don't die, whatever it may be. Live by the sword, die by the sword. So that was the first, I want to say, inspiration for it. But I think reading stuff like Ben Jacqueline and Sister Dr. Chris Francis Weston, the ISIS Papers, just certain books that Afrocentricity, Abu Bakari's, Naeem Akbar, they came before Columbus. Those type of books inspired me of trying to figure out a way to convey that type of knowledge to us, what I'm saying, street dudes, without it being, because a lot of times some brothers get kind of turned off on it because of either their literacy level or because it's so foreign to us. So I tried to code Chronicles and Memoirs of a Gangster as a way, you get caught on with the gangster part. I start off with but I'm talking about race, and I'm talking about history, and I'm talking about the religion's inadequate versions of religion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving you something so you can understand, but I'm doing it in a way that we can understand. So I just think it's just, I've always liked to write. So, it just made sense.
Makes sense. It just makes sense. Now, how many books do you have altogether out? You self-published, right? Or you went through published?
So no, I self-published. I had 6 books published on Amazon before I came out of prison.
Okay.
I actually published 4 of them. My homeboys that was locked up too. I signed contracts, then put them up under my publishing company and got their books published. I wrote 9 books while I was there. I published 2 of mine and 4 of theirs. And so I still got 7, 8 other books that I haven't even hit. 4 of them are children books. Each one of them has they have trilogies. Most of them are trilogies.
Okay.
It's like, this is the homeboy from Compton, Johnny Johnson. This is one of the books. He was my cellie. This brother right here, he just got out, just did 15 years from Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is he spit that fire in this one too. And he just got out. He's doing a lot of great state off inside financial credit repair. And this is another one of the homies out of Fort Worth.
No words. Okay.
And of course, are you familiar with this is the Chronicles? This is the one that I lent someone who took it, reinvented himself, reinvented himself based on this.
I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah. And then Resurrection of a Dying Breed. Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with
I'm familiar with the cover, but I'm not familiar with the book itself. But I have seen that cover.
Have you? And then the 6th one is a real estate book called A Poor Man's Plan to Live in a Rich Man's Dream. It's a brother Kenneth Johnson, out of Alabama. Have you ever read The Spook That Sat by the Door?
No, I never read the book. I seen the movie. I didn't even know it was a book. I guess they probably made the movie off the book there. Because I seen the movie, but I never read the book.
Sam Greenlee, he shot it. But Resurrection is like a 2000 and a new millennium spook that sat by the door kind of concept.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the brother just getting out of prison, and it's got a great deal of historical stuff that's from the funk. It's a lot of good stuff inside there. Of course, names have been changed, and but it depicts an era of what murder work looked like. But it was a brother who hit the streets, something similar to my story, united the gangs, and what they decided to do was to infiltrate the government by finding where the dope was originally coming from. So they infiltrate the cartels, infiltrate the Aryans, infiltrate them, and get all the way up to the top to shut it down from the top of the source. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real good read, though, man. It's a real good read.
Got to get into that one. I like that one already. I like the sounds of that one already. Like I said, when I pull up on you, I'm coming to snatch them. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely what's up. So like I see that you had the Chappell Publishing. So is that something that you actually working on, or that was just something you did with those books, or are you actually trying to build that publishing company up? Yeah.
So when I came home, I originally got 20 years in a jury trial. And the most logical thing for me to do at that time was study the law, right? Because I had 20 years in prison. I wasn't just going to sit there for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I took a 2,000-hour apprenticeship program, and I was able to litigate 23582s, and I gave them back 84 months. So instead of coming home in 2022, I came home in 2014. Okay. The original plan was, of course, to push the publishing company, my clothing line, Curve Servers, the Build a Better Hood program. I've wrote a couple of movie scripts, and then I had wrote curriculum to implement, in the neighborhoods. And when I came home, man, I was just so taken back, man, how bad the hood was. Yeah. Like, I mean, it was like,
in the back of your mind, it's bad, but when you actually see it, it's like even worse than you think it is. Yeah.
But the world was new, but also the world was new for me, man, because I had been gone 12 years, man. When I left, we had flip phones.
Yeah.
There was no MySpace, Facebook, no Instagram, and all the old heads was following the youngsters when I came home, and people were compromising a lot of principles and etiquettes that we had lived by. So I was kind of on some solo time when I came home, because I was like, man, what y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? This ain't, I don't condone wrong, but come on, man, this ain't what.
Whole code change, you know what I'm saying? The OG really lost his power, and it was just the youngsters with the money became OGs because they had money. And like I tell you, it don't matter how much money you got, the wisdom and the OG status, you don't get that because if you got a lot of money or not. You know what I'm saying? That just you get that from different principles and the way you carry yourself and the way you moved over a time of period of time. You don't get that just because, oh, I'm 18 and I ran up some racks and I'm an OG. Nah, that don't work like that. But that's the way it is now. And a lot of older people allow that. They become like the little homies to the little homies. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
When I was discussing that with somebody, and here in Fort Worth, they had hit us like in the mid 90s with like a 400-man indictment, secret indictment. And it hit all the day one cats in every hood. So what you had was dudes our age who never got out there off their porch. They saw this opportunity to slang, because see, it's a difference back in the day of hustlers, D-boys, and gangsters. There was some hustlers that had a little gangster in them. There was some, some D-boys that had, but a gangster was distinguished. Riders was distinguished from everybody else. Yeah. So a lot of times people today, when they, when you removed all the day one dudes and you had these dudes that went to school with us, they saw an opportunity. So they stepped in and put these youngsters down with them, and they're telling these war stories that they wasn't involved in, but the youngsters don't know no different. You know what I'm saying? They just looking at the old head, and so that's where this getting down first came from. You know what I'm saying? Because those older brothers had never been a juvenile, they had never been through no pressure. So soon as it happened, they created this getting down first thing, and and it's been rotten ever since. Not to say that the game was good, but I mean, there was etiquettes and principles.
Yeah, it was different principles. Like stuff still happened, but it ruled out the chain of command. And like now it's just lawlessness. Nobody got to answer to nobody. Everybody, there's no, well, the big homie can check, little homies don't even want to hear it no more. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the first thing they gonna say is, I got more money than you, and I got this. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing they throw out. So they feel like if they got more money than you, well, I'm gonna listen to you. Even if you giving them the right game, they don't want to hear it. They feel like they got more money than you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing we got.
Yeah, and they've seen a lot of old dudes coming out and just thinking because of what they did in the past that they automatically should be listened to. And I didn't come home on that type time. I came home, met people where they was at. I didn't come home with my chest out talking about I'm the big homie. And
I used to do this. You better listen to me or else. And yeah, you can't do that. It's a balance to both sides of it. You can't overdo what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right about that. Because I tell people all the time, I'm 39. I just turned 39 Monday. I've been out here since I was 12. I left my mama's house at 12. Like I tell people, and people know my story, people that see me, but I don't live off what I did. It's about what I'm doing now because these youngsters don't care about what I used to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you mix what I used to do with what I do now, then they'll respect that. But if you just talk about what you used to do and that's it, they don't care about all that. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't.
So we got to make sure we in the present putting in that work and you know standing on our 10 toes too, as well as
we have to earn that. We have to earn the right to be in those positions to tell them something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we can't give them something useful and show them some different reasonable opportunities to do something different, we don't need to be talking about that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
For sure. Yeah, we got to be ready to lead.
You know, I can say this. You had asked me if I was sincere about pushing the company. I pretty much laid down all my companies and dove into the community advocacy, right? And but you know, I jumped in blindly. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting certain people in leadership positions to be who they were. I was expecting certain imams and pastors and certain people to be who they were. And when it came down to it, man, it was about the same thing that was going on in the streets.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, politics and it's more gangster in politics. It's more corruption and deceit going on in that. Yeah. The streets ain't got nothing on what I went through. You know?
The streets are the little homies to the politicians. The politicians are they're the real gangsters. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's where we learned it from. That's where we learned it from. We learned it from emulating the behavior of the people that brought us here in the first place. Yeah. You know, this is not behavior that
that's why it's powerful for us, like-minded individuals to kind of team up. Because it seems like we're all out there on the island ourselves. Like, you know, the people that's trying to do the work like you're doing. I know you feel like you're on the island because I talk to people that doing similar work, and everyone I talk to in this space is all on the island because we're outnumbered by the music, we're outnumbered by the commercial, we're outnumbered by the rap that's getting thrown money. You know, just all the money that this white supremacist system, that's why back in the days, it was easy for everybody to boycott. Even they had grandmas and everybody boycott walking to work because we all we had. Now we got half the black people like, man, well, this dude paid me. So, I mean, I feel y'all pain, but he give me a check. Or like I was talking to a partner yesterday, I said it's hard when I talk to my people about fighting against the system, I got to understand that, of course, they hate what's happening to us. But if you get fed, if you get housed, if you get clothes, if everything you do come from the system, you can only fight with so much. You'll go to a protest, you'll do a sign up, but to really do what you need to do, you're not going to do that because you still worry about your check coming in, you still worry about this. And that's when I say people like us, we have to empower ourselves and build infrastructures and build institutions where our people will want to ride with us because they know, okay, this is resource center. We got our own little food pantries. We got our own, we got our own little house services. We got our own thrift store. If they know that they got that in their community that they can go to, they will be more inclined to get behind us.
You 360% right. You know, they're saying that no people can consider themselves equal until they're doing for themselves what other groups of people are doing for themselves. So, you know, in that concept, if I have something to offer for them, you know what I'm saying? If I have something, hey, you can come work over here. You know, if you get fired for, you know, we got banks over here. We got, you know what I'm saying? We got literacy classes, you know, a whole host of things. Like, you know, I was telling on that same concept the other day is that's why I sent the network to you. You know, I'm executive director of KOTF Network, which is a network one of my homies built, and he was rolling 60s, used to bang. And I mean, the brother is a borderline genius, but it's just getting people to take a look at the network and really go through it and navigate it. You know what I'm saying? But Black Netflix, you know, we launched a beta app for Black Uber. 10,000 people said that they'd drive for it if we get the app, you know, created. We got a Black newscast, a film crew. You know what I'm saying? It's everything is all Black owned. Two Black radio stations series. We take other individuals' podcasts and different shows, and we air them where they can see. We have something similar to PayPal, pay for me, pay me to see. It's the same thing. You know, the brother has created. He even has a Black Facebook. He created a social network. It's the same thing that Facebook does. But we have to get. You know, the thing is that, you know, paying the bills and trying to advertise what it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's what it is. That's where we get beat at, because we don't have those resources. We don't have that money just funneling in. Like, yeah, the other groups, they can come up with something. They got resources just pouring in and pouring in. Like I was saying, like it's historical. Like I was telling you about the Jay Morrison and then Tariq. It's historical that we can raise $1 million in 1 week. But I done seen cops kill a black man and get that from just for people starting them a GoFundMe, so they can raise more money on a GoFundMe just to celebrate a cop that killed us than we can do it for ourselves. And that's the part that we got to get you. Like, we only had like 10,000 people invest in it, which is cool. That's good. But if we all on the same code, just think about it, there was 100,000 people, just 200,000 people. When we get those type of numbers that's really fighting for what you just said, that's supporting that network, once we get that, there's a whole nother level. And then you throwing that out, my first time hearing about it was when you shared that post. I definitely want to get involved and help and push that, and whatever I can do to, you know what I'm saying? Like Wealth Is Gangsta, it's a podcast, but like I tell them, I'm doing it as a network. So like my CEO Youth League, I got a couple of my kids, they starting their own shows. I got an animation show that's educational for the kids. So, I'm not looking at this as a podcast, even though this segment of it is a podcast. I'm thinking network. We got to think bigger. Right. So I definitely want to team up with you, because that's what we need. We need our own radio station. We need our own network. Have you ever heard of Dr. Claude Anderson?
Yes.
That's what he teaches. That's all he teaches about how we need to own it from the root till it hit our table, or from the root till it go on our clothes. So that's what I think. Manufacturing, distribution, radio, media. We got to own that, because if not, they're going to push their narrative. And
that's what it's about.
TV a couple years ago, man. When I go to my grandma's house and I see TV, I see it a whole different way than I used to. I don't see that commercial. Like I see through it all now. And I'm like, I never saw that before. But it's the programming. When they say TV programming, they serious about that.
Right. And it starts from the time we push them off into the school, man. When we come from whatever you want to see our Creator as, whether you say Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, Ra, whatever name, because He has many names, and none of them can own up to His magnitude and His omnipotence, right? But when we came from the source that created our life in plant, mineral, water life, the universe, stars, when we came from that source, we were pure. We were not corrupted. But the programming begins as soon as you send them to pre-K. You know what I'm saying? From that point on, we get programmed into their institutional and their view of thinking, their rationalization, what they feel is right and wrong, what they feel is righteous and justice. We was listening the other day when Dick Gregory was speaking. He said, y'all, just because they call it the law, or just because they call it legal, y'all think that it's right. Hell, 400 years of slavery, they call that legal. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's right just because they named it something. And it's we definitely have to redefine ourselves. We definitely have to be the ones who control our own narrative. And I definitely got to send you the links to the network, man, because you'll be surprised. I give you an example. The music industry. If you Beyonce or somebody, someone who's a super mega star, you'll get 18 to 23 cents per spin on the radio, right? Yeah. The network that we have, KOTF network, is designed to pay you at a bottom $1.07 per spin. That's 5 times the industry standards at the bottom rate, because the network was designed to give the artist the lion's share, and the network take the pennies on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? YouTube and all these platforms are just emulating the same system that they had before. You know what I'm saying? Even though they make you feel like you're making you some money, you getting pennies on the dollars for your creativity, and they taking it. That don't make no sense.
And they taking even more, because about 5 years ago, YouTube was cutting out some nice checks. I know people that used to make 10, 20,000 a month. Now they making maybe 3,000, 4,000 a month. Like, they cut all that down.
Yeah.
Because they know that you film anyway. You got to come to them. So they know, I'm not going to give you all that money. I don't got to, because you got to stay here anyway. Where are you going to go?
See, we have I'll send it to you. But the broadcasting ability, we had the ability to go live, and it's a national. It runs adjacent with the network. You can log on to it from Hulu and Roku. I mean, and it was all Black owned and all built. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely hope
we need that, and we need to really push that, and we need to put that on, like, I mean, I would love like even all my events and stuff like to promote that, make that part of the promotion. We need to make that a staple. You know what I'm saying? Because we need a network. You know, like I was just saying I'm gonna start this as a network, but my only option was to what? Record and go to YouTube. Until I get the know-how and all that. All I know is I want to network one day, but I can start on YouTube, get my content, and then go from there. Yeah. So
but you know, last month we got 3 million. We got 3 million views last month. You know what I'm saying? It's a 24-hour television station. Like I said, it's a complete black Netflix. When you go on there, all you're gonna see is all black movies to choose from. You know what I'm saying? I'll send you the links after the show so you can check it out. Definitely.
That's big, man. And how long you said that's been going on?
Syph he created it, I want to say in 2014. And he's just been adding on to it. You know, he's one of them meticulous brothers, man, that, you know, if you conversate with him about something simple, he ain't gonna be able to break it down to you simply. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you start going through I had to make him separate the sites. I was like, look, bro, separate TV and radio over here, separate the film and, you know, that over here, because he just had it, you know, because his brain, the way his mind thinks, you know, he thinks you understand it, but when I send it to you, man, you'll be able to go through it and check it out. You know what I'm saying? And I believe you. I believe as intelligent as you are as a brother, man. I believe you'll even be surprised.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked just to know that you actually part of that already going on. That's what I've been talking about. But I'm like, I don't know the first steps. I know some about the radio. They say you need a tower, so I'll be doing my little research. But I got so much going on. Like that's why it's good to team up with other people. Like I'd rather team up with somebody instead of me trying to. And that's our problem too, especially as black men. We all want, well, I got that idea, so let me do my own over here. No, if they got the idea and they already got it going on, let me mash with y'all and just, you know what I'm saying? And that, we too individualized. We too individualized as a people. And I was telling my business partner that yesterday. I was like, man, when a millionaire or billionaire, when they see a deal, a real estate deal or anything, they gonna call their other millionaire or billionaire friends. Why people that's barely making it? Why are we scared to team up and partner up? When the rich people do it, it's crazy. Like my mentor, one of my mentors used to always tell me, you should rather want 20-30% of a watermelon than 100% of a seed. And that hit me because from the streets, when I first got in business, I was like, man, I'll do this one deep. I'll do this. I don't need no team. I don't need that. And that's true. You can run a mom and pop store like that. But I'm thinking corporation, I'm thinking big business. I can't run that just me one deep, forget everybody. You have to have a team. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to go through the hiring, the firing. You're going to find some good people, some bad people. But that's just the process of growing into a corporation or a big business. And that's what we got to get more into. We need people. Like, I don't care if a deal go bad with one partner. I need another partner. And that's how we got to think. We can't be like, well, forget everybody. I'm by myself now. I don't care about the individual. I tell my partner, we can all make money individually. But if we want power, we got to be together. We're not going to get power from this system by ourselves. I don't care how tough you is. I don't care how smart you is. If you don't have a whole crew of people from coast to coast that's with you in similar mindset in a team, it's hopeless for us. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, man, because you know this is what the purpose of United Hoods of America was for, right?
Sure, yes,
when I was on the inside, when I realized how much time I had. You know, I could spend six months with my Indonesian partner and learn his culture. I could spend 6 months with my Dominican partner and learn his culture. I still got 19 more years to go. I can go over here and holler at my partner that's in the UK. So I spent my time, I looked at it as a multicultural university, right? I told myself I was away at college, just at an all males college. And I continued to keep my mind focused on that point. But what I did was it gave me the ability to select individuals from different states that had credibility and their paperwork was right and they had a desire to do something in their hood. So that's how United Hoods of America started. We started in 15 states. We're in 21 different states now. And it was to control the narrative in hip hop, to bring some revolutionary conscious, some street, let it. I don't know if you remember back in the game when Ice Cube left NWA and he formed the Lynch Mob, right?
He still repping this to this day. He's still repping that.
Come on, man. If you get a chance, go back and listen to that first album. I swore it was about to be a war. You know what I'm saying? The way he was talking about them peoples, right? Yeah. But it's one of the reasons I parted from my crew at the time too, because like I said, at the time I started listening to the nation's teachings. But the reason why I said that is that through the clown, there's a scripture that it says that God will make your enemies your footstool, right? And one of the mercies and blessings that's come out of ignorance, out of the mouth of an ignorant, is that he's brought more people together. And so I salute him and thank him for that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna mention, the salamander too much, but
Yeah.
but the thing is, there's another clique called United Streets of America, and so we were able to connect. You know what I'm saying? And so our whole purpose first was a distribution company where we had green lights. So most of the dudes that if today in music you got to tour to get money, and if you ain't who you say you are, and you fall up in if you ain't who you say you are, and you fall up in somebody's backyard, your chain getting snatched and things of the such. So we had credible people in all the states where we was just gonna start funneling artists through. But the artist had to be on the narrative that we was pushing.
Yeah.
So that was the objective. But like I said, I came home, abandoned all the businesses, and jumped right off into Build a Better Hood, and got caught up, man. Got into self-medication, failed, got on drugs, got addicted for a minute, went through a lot of stuff that I never thought I would be going through. I'm thankful for it. I'm not ashamed about it, because it gave me the ability to really connect with people and understand even that much more of the struggle. I'm always one who believed that the people who are closest to the problem are the ones who are closest to the solution. You know what I'm saying? So now I really truthfully understand, what it feels like to be in that type of hellfire, because a lot of our people have given up because of a sense of a lack of inspiration and lack of hopelessness and feeling alienated. And so a lot of them self-medicate in different ways. So going through that, I wasn't crazy. The people really was tripping with me, but trying to convince people who don't understand the diabolical ways of this government, man, trying to convince people that these people is putting informants out here and doing this and doing that. It was a hell of a thing, especially coming from Fort Worth. I don't know if you've done much research on Fort Worth's history, but Fort Worth is run by old money.
Yeah.
Dallas got a lot of new money, like Mark Cubans and a lot of other dudes who think more cultural. They got them billionaires out there. Fort Worth is run by old money, and it has a bunch of and I don't like to call people's names, but it's a lot of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Tom and Uncle Toby and going on around here, man. And those are usually the ones in positions that consider themselves to be the leaders in our community, man. So I'm unapologetic. I ain't got no muscle. I'm a licensed minister. I got, you can't go holler at no gangster and tell them that I'm at the end of the road when you get to the.
You back.
All right, we good.
You back. Yeah, nah, for real. What you saying?
I can't hear you though.
Hello? You all hear me? It's going through over here. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. You don't hear me?
I got you.
You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, now what you said, and that's part of our problem, man. Like, man, we got a war coming at us from all angles, from the food to the air to the water, and then, like you say, to the government, and then the government to our own people. Like I tell people, I'm for my people, but I'm not crazy to not understand that my people gonna be the first one to come at me, hate on me, not support me. Even the people that you're for are gonna be the first one, and that's how, like Malcolm say, every time a black man say something to stand up for us, they always send another black man to tear down what he said. That's just the way it's always been. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they keep certain people in positions, the certain pastors, the certain people in politics and all that. And like we say, unapologetic, that's the way I am. And that's why I tell them we have to build our own. Like when I studied the Black Panthers, right? Everything they did was great, besides letting just anybody and everybody in without the proper, but that all our people back then we still have that problem of infiltration, you know what I'm saying? So that, that's just something we gotta always fight. But the one thing I took away that I feel that they messed up on, when they, like the free lunch program, great idea, the government stole it. But the difference between them and the government print money, we don't. So like I tell people, even when we want to do good for our people, we got to make it where it's reciprocal. We got to be able to make money, because we can't give out. Our money will dry up. So you can want to do all the good in the world. If you don't got a way where money's steady coming, your goodness gonna dry out. You see, we gotta understand that even doing good is business. So you can't shame me about being a businessman or making money, because I want to do too much for my people, and I was born into a capitalistic world. So me saying I'm not a capitalist, I'm not this, I'm not that, that's just, you can be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell my people, you conscious, you ain't supposed to be into capitalism. I'm a conscious capitalist. Then put it like that. I'm not running from it. I want to do big business. I want to have manufacturing. I want to do it all, because this is the world I'm born into. No matter what I feel is right or wrong, to fight them, the way we like to do it on that moral high ground, all that, that's why we get crushed, because we stay on the moral high ground, and the powerful structure just eat us up, because they love the good-hearted people that don't got nothing, don't own nothing, don't run nothing.
Yeah, because they're not playing by the same rules.
Yeah.
And and the God that they fed us, they don't believe in that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I was telling the dude, if we don't get back to boycotting and shutting stores down, if we don't get back, because when you look at and you go into the Black community, and I'm not against any group of people. I believe in power of all people, but it's either the Asians, the Arabs, or somebody else running the store. At the end of the day, when that store gets closed, all that money you go spend with that store, at the end of the day, when they go deposit that money, they take that back to the neighborhood where they come from. Yeah. And that's one chunk of the wealth. The other chunk of the wealth is the brothers that's hugging the blocks. Because once they hug the blocks, they're not spending the money back in the neighborhood. They're taking the money out there where the Europeans are and spending all their money on their clothes and the cars out there. So the dollar doesn't circulate in the community to do anything for the neighborhood. And then just like with you, if you own the store down there, I'm gonna come in and ask for a discount. I'm gonna come in there and ask you to cut me a deal just because you Black and you Black owned. See, and I believe, because we started talking about this in '92 is when they first put the target on my back, but I was only 18, 19 years old. Yeah. So I wasn't aware that speaking like that, because in '92 I had did that Black Youth protest. I don't know if you saw that article up on Facebook, but
yeah, no, I see it.
And I was 18 years old at the time. And coincidentally, the next day I get arrested for all kind of, aggravated robbery, attempted capital murder, all kind of crazy charges. Mm-hmm. The charges get dropped, but it was that compelled me to do the gang truce. And when I did the gang truce, I didn't even have any charges. In '93, '94, if you know anything about TDC, when you had a violation in that time, they did a 90-day turnaround. The system was too full for violations. They kept me down there 4.5 years on a violation, on a technical violation with no charges. You know what I'm saying? But I came up out of it with Guerrilla Records, and I came right back to the streets and brought the Crips and Bloods back together under Guerrilla Records. So, we was the first independent record label in Texas at the time that had real Crips and Bloods on the label, but we was all talking about revolutionary music. And this is 1998, 97, 98, right? And that's when they really got on my bumper. You know what I'm saying? Because we was pushing an agenda back then to stop calling them gangs. They tribes, just like Mandinka and Ashanti and the Fulani tribes, just like Tortechi and Mayan and Incan tribes. We just got different tribal colors and different tribal languages. And if you could just change the direction of the leadership. See, one of the things that David Duke did that I respected, even though I don't respect him, when he took over the Klan, he acknowledged that they still believe that they're the supreme race. But what he did was extreme brilliance. And I got this from me and the sister, Demeter, was talking on a podcast the other day. And what he did was, he said, look, I'm giving all y'all a card. Y'all are card carrying members of the Klan. We denounce violence. We denounce all the race. We denounce all the stuff before. So if one of the members happens to do something wrong, guess what they do? They take his card from him, right? And they say, hey, we can't be held accountable for him. We took our card back from him. See, the problem with the Crips and the Bloods and the difference between the GDs and the Vice Lords is the GDs and the Vice Lords live by structures. The Crips and Bloods ain't never had no laws, no governance. And so one of the things that I did, I created something called IBCO, International Blood and Crip Organization, IBCO. And Blood is an acronym for Black Liberation Overcoming Division Service. CRIP stands an acronym for Community Revolutionary International Party Service. And what we do is we denounce any type of gang activity. We denounce any type of drug selling. We denounce any of the history of what happened with the Crips and Bloods previous to our new vision. And the Crips and Bloods that they are now are there to rebuild the neighborhoods instead of tearing the neighborhoods up. Because it doesn't make any sense for us to destroy people that are already in a group. Change the direction of the leadership. And that's why our brothers been having so many problems with them, because they know that, it makes common sense what we're trying to do.
Yeah, nah, I believe, and it takes us all, and that division part we always find a way to not like each other or not, and we're not going to agree on everything. But if we think strategically and we understand, like the system don't agree with everything, but they know they want to keep us at the bottom.
Right. So
They
they
know
gonna come together. They gonna come together in agreement to fix. That's how we got. That's how the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in the first place, ain't it?
Yeah, they wouldn't, because like Lincoln want to free no slave. He's just like, this is a better business move. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can show y'all how to make money instead of doing it like this. We can turn it around, it'll look better, but you'll still make that money just a different way. Like, that's all they did. And we want to, go ahead.
Just what you said, and I want to say this is that when we called a gang truce, and I've repeated this a few times, I was so focused on the people that didn't accept the truce that we failed and neglected to work with the people that was with it.
Yeah.
And so now, we don't need to be worrying about who ain't with us, man.
Worry about it, because we're gonna have those. And see, they do that on purpose. They want to distract us. They want to, like I tell my people, we play past that. We play past it, and then that's gonna hurt them because we're not reacting to that. We're not going back and forth with you. You can't, like, we can't argue with the results. So as long as I put in that work, as long as I'm doing the results, what you saying over there don't matter. Like it don't matter. And see, but they want us to stop and be like, hey, what you mean? And that back and forth, that argument, that waste of time. They even though they ain't talking about nothing, it's still a victory for them, because now they got us feeding it to them, and we wasting our time when we could have been doing something productive. We got to play past all that. We're gonna always have Black people saying this. Black people, you know how many people said, "Oh, this museum, we don't need no museum. We don't need this." I'm like, man, every other ethnicity got a museum because they home their culture in. We don't. Man, he walked into a museum in L.A. right over there by USC Stadium, by the school. First thing you walk in there is a woman in a thong and this and that. You can't never walk in no Jewish museum and they disrespect a Jewish woman like that. But we allow that, and then we look at who the owners, all white people, like I say. And it's not even a racial thing. It's just a mentality thing. Like, a Jewish person ain't gonna let me own a Jewish museum. You know what I'm saying? Right. It ain't even about them or us. It's just about we ought to control our own things.
Right. And that's and same thing in the Asian community.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see a lot of Asians marching in the streets. Not to say that Asians don't suffer from oppression in America, but the collective body of the majority of the Asians, they know, hey, listen, man, go pay that politician, shoot that man his money for his campaign, and let them come on down here and fix this, that.
And they know they like this. They community like this. That's their power. I never see them like vote in mass numbers or this and that, because they know they got their Chinatown, they know they got their own circle, they got their own ecosystem. They got stuff coming from overseas. They got the stores in our hoods that's sending all their kids to college. They got it set up. So I know they vote and they this and that, but I told my partner, I said, tell me any other group besides, white and Black, any of those groups, tell me who their leaders are. You'll never know, because their leadership is their group economics. Their group is their leadership. They don't put out one person. See, us as Black people, we like hero worship. That's why we like the Obama. That's why we like, that's why we deep into the church. We like that one person that's the savior. All that takes the power off us, instead of saying, you know what? No, it's my responsibility. It's your responsibility. It's all of our responsibility to build this. It's not one person. Everybody. It's not LeBron James. It's not Jay-Z. It's not none of them. That's why I tell people, well, LeBron and Jay-Z can do this. Okay, well, what are you doing? Right. If you ain't doing nothing, you can't tell me, oh, they got more money. I just seen you at the club last week. You got some money too. That could have went to something. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying. We like to push it off on everybody but us.
Right.
You tell me another group that does that. The other groups don't look for their sports or their entertainers to take care of them as a group. They move as a group. They spend money as a group, and they do everything as a group, and that's what we're lacking.
And it was fed to us with their version of religion. You know what I'm saying? Waiting to, suffer in this life and get your blessings in after. You know what I'm saying? And so.
And everybody else get heaven while they're alive. We're supposed to get it when we go, though.
Yeah, they have heaven. We got to see what's going to happen on the other side. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with it, man.
No, man, we got to do it. So let me ask you another question about, like, okay, what were you like in jail? Were you free? I know, was it around the same time you did your books? What made you become the teacher part of you that wanted to teach the people? What's that? Because that being a teacher and a book writer and an activist, those are kind of different things. So what's the teaching part? Where does that come from? The teacher.
I was on Wallace Unit in 1997, and I didn't know the gang troops had went on, kind of got on the news stations in different areas, right? So a lot of dudes recognized me when I came in, and we were on the yard. I can remember this, Clint, because there's a lot of race riots between the blacks and Hispanics and whites in the state, which is different. And we just got punished. It was like 50ers on the yard and the essays, you know what I'm saying? They did their thing, you know what I'm saying? They had swords buried on the side of the yards and everything.
Yeah.
And so when after it took place, sitting there on lockdown, the first thing that we had to do when we came up was, we made it. We got back and told everybody, listen, as soon as we get up off lockdown, y'all all make store again, because everybody our age, anybody 35 and below, y'all exempt. Everybody 35 and up, y'all exempt. Anybody 35 and below, as soon as we got out, we ran right up in the cells and went to mashing all the blacks and said, now, as soon as we come out again, y'all finna fight. You know what I'm saying? We finna go back here and redo this again. So we went right back on lockdown. And so it was just being put into circumstances that forced me to start speaking. And then I started to notice people was listening. And it was the Million Man March. And we ended up having like 400 people off in the gym. And anybody who was on Wallace Unit at the time would testify to this. And it was 400 brothers in the gym, man. And that's when I think I started to see that I had been given a gift to being able to speak. You know what I'm saying? Especially in crowds. And when we left, I remember telling everybody to go back to their units in pairs, but be silent, because they expected us, because anytime a group of black men get together, they expect us to act the fool. And man, we walked back to our buildings completely silent in pairs, man. And I was in front of the major's office the next morning, man. You know what I'm saying? He was threatening me and things of such. I'm like, I know you can take care of my penitentiary and this and that. So I just think that coming from the mud and coming from that point in my life where I was, my brother had got killed. I was, mashed the gas, cut the brake line, that type living. Yeah. I knew what these youngsters was feeling like, right? And if wasn't nobody gonna say nothing, I knew somebody had to. So, like I said, I don't feel like it's optional. It's obligatory that if we've learned things, we got to give it back. We got to reciprocate it. No nation advances if, like you were saying at the beginning of the show, that if you don't transfer the knowledge, information, and experiences from the elders to the youth, then the next generation will perish. And that's what we see. There's no bridge between the elders and the youth any longer.
Because the elders, they stay their way, and the youth like, nah, we got to do it this way because that ain't working, and it's just a clash. That's more division right there. That's another reason why we just can't get
brothers like yourself. What you're doing has to be promoted. That's why we push that. I mean, that's why I pretty much put everything with United Hoods of America behind the network, man, because the network is about telling our narrative. We got to start highlighting, like me and Evil Blood out of Big Evil out of Stop 6. We're about to start our podcast. You know what I'm saying? So that we can start showing positive brothers that come from the streets and penitentiaries that's doing positive things. You know what I'm saying? To kill the nonsense about you can't be, there's no such thing as redemption, and you can't, your current circumstances don't control your fate. They don't control your destiny. So that's
one thing I'll be pushing to my youth. I tell them, because coming up, I always heard we're a product of our environment. So like in my book, I got a book. I'll tell you about my book that I got coming out called The Streets Lied to Us. And my tagline in that is, don't be a product of your environment, make your environment a product of you. And that's just us. No matter what, if you in the hood, wherever you at, start changing that environment. Start, the way you start thinking and start moving will change your environment, and that's what we got. And that's why we got to get to the youth and let them know and open up their mindset. And that's what my program is all about. It's just opening up the mindset to, it's a lot of life out here. I know all we taught is go to school, play sports, and get a job. That's basically all we give our black boys is you got to go to school, you hope to go to college and get a job if you don't make it in sports. But I'm like, it's only 1% or less making it in sports. So why are we Wow, we got 1 million Black kids waking up every morning, working out, running for like what, 200 jobs a year. So even if you're great, your odds are super low. But I can show you how to become an entrepreneur at 9, 10 years old. You know, I got 10-year-olds writing books, doing art that's about to go, I'm about to go in business with right now. You don't have to wait till you get 18 and hope to get a job. I hope to get drafted. You tell me your gifts right now, and I'm gonna hone those gifts, and we're gonna turn that into something right now. Not maybe later on in life, not, you know, I tell these kids, you can retire your parents with your gift. Because I know if a kid walk up to me, I don't care what they're selling, I'm gonna buy it. I might not never use it, but the power is in if you a child, if you got something to sell, that's your power. If you're pushing a product, you're pushing a shirt. You walk up on a door. Last kid that he had some colognes, I still got them. He had like 20 of them in there. I haven't even used them. I just bought them all. You know what I'm saying? His mom said he was so happy because his mom said he had been trying to sell them for like the last couple of hours, and she told him just stick at it, stick at it. And so you know, if I see a kid selling something, I see him. I was watching him. I just moving around the event. And then I see, you know, the look on his face with, you know, adults just passing them by this and that. I just walked up to him and how much are they? Just tipped him and gave it out. And just the smile that he finally seeing that my hard work paid off. Now he's more eager. He gonna understand that I'm gonna have good days, I'm gonna have bad days. Some people not gonna buy it, but I'm looking for that 1-2 sale. And that's the lesson within the self right there. That's the lesson.
Reinforce the behavior, because behavior is always, you know what I'm saying, you know, based on the reward of a behavior is what's going to, you know, 9 times out of 10 make the behavior repeat itself. And that's how we feel, you know, by coming in the community and being rewarded for whooping somebody and being rewarded for busting somebody upside the head. When you want to pay attention to at one point in time is what turned around and made us that behavior become reinforced. You know, it's
you know, that you could go to the corner and make a quick buck. That's how I got, you know what I'm saying? Like when I started running away at 11 years old, when I made my first little $50 like that, my mom couldn't tell me nothing no more. I was hooked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because all I see her do is struggle, go to work. I don't want to live that life. So I just seen something else. I'm through with even what you're trying to tell me to do now. But if I show you right now, my last event, we was in the papers, everything. I had a vendor's day. And all the kids that ran the tables, I didn't take none of that profit home. They took it home. I just want them to come set up a shop, come set up your table, deal with customers, profit losses. You go home with you know, so just it was an exercise. Plus, it was something because, you know, I don't like to just teach kids in classrooms because kids get bored fast. They're already in school enough. So I like real life experiences and teaching them and stuff like that. You know,
that was brilliant. That's brilliant, man. We you know, we definitely got to do that out here in Fort Worth, man. That was
yeah, and that, you know, that's my CEO youth league. Like I told him I started that because it's Pop Warner football, it's Pop Warner everything sports. But what happens to the kids that's good at art or the kid that's good? Like I got a spelling bee coming up. You know, we gotta put those on the pedestal too, not just the kid that's good in sports. So out in the black community, the child that's good in sports is like this, and the child that's not is down here. You can see it in every home. The one that's real good in football, that's the one that the mom and dad put up here. The other one, they might not be good at sports, so you know they love them and stuff, but they don't get put on that same pedestal. I want to put you on the pedestal because you like to spell, or because you like to draw, because you like to do stuff. I'm writing a movie right now for one of my teenagers called Cool Kids. In that movie, all the cool kids not gonna be the jockey and all that. They're gonna be the quote unquote nerds and the quote unquote book. So I'm writing a movie making them the cool kids on school. You know, it's just about changing the narrative. It's not about sports is bad, but we gotta balance it out and let kids know even if you don't make it, there's so much other stuff you can do.
That's what has to be done. We gotta recontrol the narrative, you know. And when you start doing exactly what you're talking about doing, bro, that's what changes the game.
That's what changes right there.
For somebody to come do it for what we can do for ourselves, that's not the answer. Doing exactly what you're saying.
And I believe, I don't got no statistics on this, but I believe we can cut homelessness and depression down 50 or more percent if we just give them tools to know that, okay, if I get fired, I don't gotta get on drugs and get depressed. I can start a business. I love my job, but I remember when I was in this program when I was young, they taught me how to save, invest, and start a business anyway. So I might have lost a job, but see, most of us, we're taught that you're gonna make it to the pros, and then you 18 years old, you don't have no college scholarships, and you blew out your knee or something, and then you looking at yourself in the mirror like, I was supposed to be the star. Well, now I got to go to the factory job. Now everybody looking at me at the factory job like, well, I thought you went to college. That makes them depressed. That makes them go to streets. You know what I'm saying? But if you blow your knee and you don't go to college, but you like, oh yeah, but I started me a business, this and that, or I'm in the stocks, I'm into this and that. You're gonna hold your head up different because you might not have made it in sports, but you so equipped with the other stuff, you good. But we're not giving that game. We're never giving that game.
Right,
You know?
right. We
So
definitely
that's
got to
what
hook up and get you on the network, bro.
the next thing I
Got to
want
get you
to
on
ask
this.
you about is like I started this Wealth Is Gangsta. This is a movement. I be having back and forth with little preachers and everything. And they once I talk to them, they understand it. At first, they kind of like, what do you mean? But like I tell them, like, that's why I want your point of view on this. I went with Wealth Is Gangsta because when I'm in the hood talking to these kids, they don't want to hear, don't do that. That's wrong. Don't do that. Because when I was 12 years old, you come to me telling me, well, stop telling them. I'm like, who's an old dude talking to them? You know what I'm saying? But if you come tell me you want to be gangster, you want to be hard, let me show you. Flipping a house of real estate is gangster. Taking care of your family is gangster. You know what I'm saying? Writing your own book about your story, that's gangster. Like I'm not telling you don't be gangster, but I'm gonna tell you, let me show you a different type of gangster. I think we will connect more with these kids instead of telling them don't do this or don't. They're gonna have to on that route, they're gonna learn on their own. But I think if we go in them and tell them you can be gangster, but let me show you this is a whole different gangster right here. And they see it as an example. They got to see the example too, like in the streets. We want to flip that work because we seen the example of what had his car. He had this, he had that. You know what I'm saying? So when I get up, I got my hat backwards, I got my goals. This is just me. I've been having goals since the 90s. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new. This is the way I've been for the last 25 plus years. When I'm talking about stocks, this and that, and they know I got properties, I got this and that, they look at me different because they're like, okay, he's just not no quote unquote broke person talking. He person really moving. And that's what we got to do. We got to show them that you can live good off being righteous and being a stand-up person. You know what I'm saying? Because normally we see that person as he barely making it, or he the poor person. So yeah, that sound righteous, but I don't want to live like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's our job to turn this into, and that's why the wealth part is important to me because it's not about the money. It's about the freedom. The freedom is I don't have to work for nobody. The freedom is when I get out here with you, I'm going to my thrift store. And then I you know what I'm saying? Then I can go to my storages. I can set up shops for my hauling business I got. That's my freedom. So it ain't about the money. And that's what I want to give kids, the freedom to be like, I don't want to work. I'm gonna just start this business. Like I had a guy, his mom wanted him to work at McDonald's. And I'm like, I can show him how to scrap and make more a week than McDonald's will pay him in 2 weeks. But you're so programmed for a job, you don't realize that he can get out here and create his own job. That's my thing. Create your own job. Create what you want. And if you want to work, that's cool. But okay, when you get out, do something else. So what do you think about that concept of when I came with the Wealth Is Gangsta with these kids? I know you deal with them too, and you know that just telling them stop doing it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, and that's what we started doing the t-shirt printing, and I started teaching them how to write their own books. And the whole purpose of the young entrepreneurship classes in the Ruby program was to teach young entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? Same things you're talking about. And like I was showing little homies, how much did you pay for that ounce of weed that you just bought?
Yeah.
And I show them the concept. Well, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get you these t-shirts and this vinyl. That's your overhead. The same amount that you had to go pay for that, that's what you're gonna have to pay for your shirts and your vinyl. Now, I already got the machine. We're gonna print up the first batch for you. Once you sell them, now what's your profit base off that? Once they see the profit base, oh, I made 300 past. How much did you invest?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then show them what your profit is. Now you can either go buy more t-shirts and more vinyl and make more of that the next time. So it's just really about the way in which you talk to them in the language that they understand. And just like that's exactly what you're saying. And yeah, man, that's what the objective is to get ourselves out from being under control of somebody else. If people knew that, or if they understood, I ain't saying they don't know, if they understood that, we don't need anybody for anything. We spend $1.4 trillion a year, but we only spend like 3 to 6% of that money with ourselves. We don't have a getting money problem. We have a what to do with the money problem. And so if we pool our resources amongst ourselves and start empowering each other and start pushing each other, instead of when singing is in, the rapper don't want to rap no more. He want to be a singer now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of pushing other individuals' talents, not saying you can't be, multi-talented, but you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with promoting and pushing and helping other individuals. That's why I continue to go back. I love my city, don't get me wrong, but it's a love-hate relationship that a brother has with the city down here because they know that what we've been trying, when we started Guerrilla Records, I was showing dudes how to start their own labels at that time. The whole purpose of them being on my label was not to just stay on my label, but to create branches so that they would eventually have more labels and produce other individuals. And they shut us down. because at that time it was unheard of to be thinking like that, to think about independence. I took that chapter out of, I think Master P is probably one of the most brilliant businessmen. He doesn't get enough recognition for the stuff that he did, but man, that brother revolutionized the whole entire game. So much so they had to go create cash, and they created cash money, not only just to be an adversary to him in business, but to take control of the narrative again. Because, the cash money that was back then and the cash money that they turned into, I don't support that nonsense, man, because half the problems that we having right now with men running around with these dresses on and all that, and it's not my thing. If that's what they choose to do, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that, you're feminizing our children. You know what I'm saying? You're feminizing our men for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And the main advocacy behind that, advocates behind that, somebody who doesn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, they put people that look like us to be the speakers against us when we say something
but
like
that. We know who's really behind it all. Yeah,
you're talking about stopping our birth rate. You're talking about stopping Black men from reproducing and families from reproducing and becoming family units again. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's brilliant. And that's why I say we definitely got to push.
The Black man, basically, that's what they're doing, making you kind of afraid. Like I'll be having like my mom and still be like, I'll be worried about you the way, like, what are you worried about me for? Just because I don't say nothing crazy. I just stand up as a Black man. But like I understand why a lot of people won't, because when you talk and live the way I do, you got to wake up every day and stand on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't talk like I do and then be like, something go bad. I need a job. I need this and that. They don't want to hear that stuff then. You know what I'm saying? Then you got a bunch of Black people waiting on me to fall just so they can say, I told you, you talk about all that stuff about the system. You need them too. So it's all that going on. You know what I'm saying? So we got to play past that. And it's ups, downs. It don't even matter. It's just about putting another foot in front of the other one and keep going. I don't care about the ups and downs. That's part of it. I love it, really. Like when you talk about, let me get this camera together. Them the parts that I'm gonna remember. Like, man, you remember when we were just trying to find the right lighting in the room, this and that. Those are the parts. We gotta love the process. And like I was telling my partner, I said, well, what I believe makes me dangerous when I'm fighting this system, because I think big in their thoughts, but I can live like I work at a fast food restaurant. I'm not crazy about the living. I'm crazy about what we can accomplish with the money in the funds and this and that. But I'm not crazy. You're not gonna make me a slave to that money. I can go back to my little one room. I can sleep on the floor with a pillow. Like, I can really live like that, and I still do right now. You know what I'm saying? Because all my money go right back into everything I'm doing. I'm not trying to sit on nothing, do nothing.
Reinvest that money into growing yourself and growing your vision that much more. Because, and that's why I'm not thankful that I went to prison. I lost a lot of time, but I lived in a single cell for 18 months by myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm my best friend. I'm not shamed by what people say or any of the things that people got to say about me, man. I picked cotton when I was 17 years old and laid it down and told, the officer, man, I'm not going to pick your cotton. You know what I'm saying? Because, and so that's why when I hear this conversation about house Negroes descendants versus field nigger descendants, that's probably the most idiotic. I mean, we already have a million different divisions between ourselves. For y'all to be having this conversation it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like I said, it keeps it
going,
man.
I definitely want to. I want to stay connected with you, man.
I just, like I said, I want to get this first interview out. And, I don't even know. We just got to chopping it up. I ain't even asked all the questions, but we did the groundbreaking first. We broke the ice, so we gonna have more of this, and definitely, like I say, next week I'm gonna be down there, so we're gonna do it in person. But we're gonna have more of these. We're gonna have we can set up. And I see you jump in my post when I was talking about I want to have like a little Black man convention where we can get in there and talk about Black man issues and what we need to do for the community and as a man. So we're gonna be doing a lot of back and forth, but we got this first one in. I appreciate you. Let me do this little clip. We'll get out. Appreciate you for being on Wealth Is Gangsta. You got any social medias where people can follow you? Any information where they can contact you, or your books, anywhere they can go get your books? Give us all that information.
Well, right now the books are on Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, which Kindle KDP, which is an affiliate of Amazon. You can follow me on Facebook under Abdul Chappell or at Chappell Abdul on IG. My YouTube page is Abdul Chappell. Look up under All Eyes on Me with a Z, EYEZ, All Eyes on Me Network. And it's under Abdul Chappell. Hit that subscribe button, man. Check out some of the lectures and stuff that I've been doing at colleges and the schools, high schools and middle schools and stuff like that. And then, if you want to support what we're doing in the community to take back control of the narrative, like you're talking about, man, buildabetterhood.com is our website. And for those of y'all who are interested in going into a network, who want to see, you want an opportunity to put your movies out, your podcast, you want to get on the network to broadcast yourself even further, check out the KOTF network, Urban Fire Benz Network. When you log in, you'll be amazed at the things that we're already doing and creating. We actually have a university, and by the end of the week, all of our classes will be online so that we can teach all our classes online. And the link is on the network as well. We got an ecosystem on the network, man. It's just a whole host of things on there. And so I appreciate you, bro, for bringing me on Wealth Is Gangsta, man. And I support your movement 360%. Anything that you can do or anything that we can do. You got 21. I definitely want to get you interviewed with the rest of the 21 different states that's affiliated with Neighborhood for America.
Anything you need from me, let me know. Anything.
I want to broadcast you amongst the 21 states too that we're dealing with, and I'll holler at the brothers from the United Streets of America and get you up on there too, bro.
Anything I can do, I'm with it, man. Well, I appreciate you. Like I said, I know you got to go. I got to move around, but let's keep this dialogue going. Let's stay in touch. I'm following and supporting you, and let's keep building and doing what we need to do for our community.
Likewise, bro. Salute.
Appreciate you. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
All right, yeah.